What if I told you that at one point Surge was completely different? Surge actually hasn't had that many changes, especially compared to a lot of other brawlers in the game. But the thing about Surge is the few changes that he had were huge changes. They were kit changing changes. They changed his super entirely. They completely removed one of his gadgets because it was way too overpowered. They removed an entire mechanic that he had with his range splitting every single time he shot. So today we're gonna go through the short yet sweet history of Surge in Brawl Stars. You know what? I'm in the mood to play some Leon real quick. How about Shark Leon? Surfshark Leon. Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is the best VPN service out there. VPNs let you use the internet while being completely invisible. In other words, nobody else, not even your internet provider, will be able to see what you're doing online. And trust me, nobody wants to see what you're looking at. And with Surfshark VPN, you can actually change your connection to whatever country you want. There's a huge list of them. You want to see how skilled Brawl Stars players are in Japan or France? Switch to that country real quick and find out for yourself. Oh, and with my promo code NUBS3, you can get an 83% discount with 3 extra months added to it. Another amazing use of VPNs is being able to see shows or YouTube videos that might be blocked in your country. Oh no, this video is blocked in my country? Not anymore. We're going to France. Are some Netflix shows not available in your country? Well, bada bing, bada boom, now they're available. And most importantly, we all know that scams are all over the place on the internet. There's really weird people going around trying to steal information. Using a VPN can protect your data from those people and keep you and your information safe. I use VPNs every single day, and you should as well. So again, using my code NUBS3, you can get an 83% discount on top of 3 extra months for free. Or if you want, you can scan the QR code. So strap up with the Shark Leon and use Surfshark VPN. And now, back to the history of Surge. There's a couple things about Surge's history that we have to go through first. So first, we should go through Surge's oldest and most overpowered mechanic that kind of defined him as a brawler, because Brawl Stars didn't really know how to give Surge a second gadget because his first gadget was way too overpowered and it basically finished his kit. So eventually they removed this, but what it used to be was a straight teleport. So you could use that to assassinate people super easily. You could use that to escape. You could use that to just like hide. It was extremely broken. So I'm going to show it to you right here. I'm trying to escape this Nani by teleporting, an instant teleport. This thing was insane. And every Surge always had it. Like, you could not play this brawler without having that. Another thing about Surge is how his super works. So right now you can see that I can aim my super, and you all know what it does. You jump forward and then you level up and you land. How it used to be though was different, because all you could do with it is this. You couldn't aim it at all. So here's an example of that. The only thing I can do against this Frank is jump straight up and straight down. It was still not even bad, but now it's a lot better, because what they did is they deleted his old gadget and then gave him new gadgets, but then changed his super so then he could at least get some distance with it to make up for the fact that he had like no gap closers. Plus, he's not reliant on a gadget, even though Power Shield is probably the best gadget in the entire game, and he's still reliant on it because it's so broken. Another thing about Surge's history is this star power used to not be useless. I think it's really bad now unless you're like level 4, but all this does now is when you attack a wall, your attack splits instead of it only splitting when you hit a brawler. But it used to be way different and also way more overpowered. So this here is Kairos's Surge Olympics from 2 years ago, so go watch that if you want to see the rest of Surge's old mechanics. But basically, with to the max, every attack would split no matter what. So you could attack anywhere and your attack would split. This was the most broken thing he's ever had. Actually, he's had a lot of broken things. I don't know if this was the most broken thing, but this was really broken, especially if you got level 4, because you could see that he could just shoot it wherever he wants, and if you shoot right next to somebody, you could get more damage than you would originally get, which is even more game breaking. It was a super OP star power, so it makes sense that they changed it, but now I think it's kind of useless. I don't know, that might just be a me thing. Now let's take a little look through his actual lore page on the Brawl Stars wiki. So in July of 2020, Surge and Mecha Paladin Surge were added to the game. He's a chromatic, so he got a skin immediately. 2 days later, apparently, they fixed a bug that allowed Surge to upgrade to level 4 on 1 supercharge. I don't remember this ever being a thing, but it only lasted 2 days, so it makes sense, but I just don't remember seeing anybody talk about that. I kind of want to see that now, but I doubt there's any footage out there. About a month later, Surge's Serve Ice Cold star power was added, which I believe stayed the exact same this whole time. It's one of the few things that actually stayed the same. It's not overpowered. You just stay at level 2. If you get it before you die and then you respawn, you keep it. Nothing too crazy. So because at this time, Surge was really overpowered because of his gadget, he actually got a few nerfs nerfs with his health, and because his to the max star power was way too strong, they nerfed its range because it was like so broken, and they didn't really know what to do about it. And then 1 month later, they realized that that nerf was not enough, so they just removed the entire thing where it splits no matter what. Good call, but I think it's kind of cute how they tried to nerf it before that. And then they fixed a bug that caused Surge's face to revert to his pre-release texture. I don't remember that. And then apparently them nerfing to the max made him a little bit too weak because people didn't know how to use him without to the max because it kind of carried him. So he got a slight damage buff, which is surprising to me because he's always been good. June of 2021, DIY Surge was added, nothing special. 4 months later, Surge's class was changed to damage dealer from fighter. This is when they just clustered all of the different things into like one category or like 4 different categories. So as you can see, it's been a year and Surge has only gotten like a couple balance changes. Some brawlers get several or dozens in a year, but Surge only got a couple, and some of them are kind of small, like slight health changes or slight damage changes, stuff like that. Then in April of 2022, they decided to just rework him. His super was given the ability to like add range to it. You can jump around. They reworked his power surge gadget, which was the teleport, and instead they just made it a new gadget. I don't even know why it's called a rework because it's not even the same thing at all. Instead of making him teleport, it just upgrades him for 10 seconds. Finally, because they have the ability to give him a second gadget after years of him being in the game, since they removed that first OP gadget, they were able to give him a second one because they probably knew that nobody would use a second gadget, or they would just never be able to balance a second gadget with how broken his first kit was. And then for his second gadget, they gave him Power Shield, which is one of the best gadgets in the game. Once again, Surge has this history of having the best gadgets in the game. I don't know why. They did nerf it once. We're gonna get into that in a second, but still, it's so broken. So 1 month after that, Surge's super recharge rate was decreased by 50%. And what I think that means, I could be dumb, but I think that means if you hit your super, then you get less super back. I think that's what that's talking about. And then apparently they had to nerf his Power Surge gadget. I didn't remember that one being too OP. All I remember is Power Surge being OP and still being OP. But apparently Power Surge upgraded him to level 3, and then they nerfed it to 2 because it was too easy to hit people with the extra speed and range. So it's like a free kill, I guess. And finally, the last change that Surge got, which was, I think, about 4 months ago, Surge's Power Shield gadget now restores 2 ammo from 3 instead of reducing the shield itself, because that shield is the most broken part about it. The ammo's good, but the shield is nuts. And now this is the Surge that we have today. Surprisingly, after a rework, I can't really decide if I think he's better before or after the rework, because the main thing is Power Shield. That thing is super broken. I already talked about that. But another thing is the fact that obviously he can jump over walls with this now, which is like similar to how his gadget used to be, but at least you can telegraph it. Like you can see when he's coming in. But before, what Surge players would do is they would like teleport in with the gadget and then super you. So it's like almost the same thing, but there's one extra step. The thing that made it even more OP before was the fact that people could teleport instantly. Like you could not react to it. It was like a gray teleport, but with a gadget. But imagine a gray teleport, but there's a Surge in your face supering on you. You can probably tell how broken that might be. Either way, the fact that Surge still has invincibility, a ton of damage, knockback, and so much on his super, and then also being able to become invincible again with his gadget, and then potentially getting another super to become invincible again. He's just a very invincible brawler. So that's kind of a trait that he's kept all along, and he's still been good for it for the longest time. He's not the best brawler in the game. He can counter certain people super well, but he can also be killed kind of easily. No matter what though, in any match, he's usually a threat if the player is good with him. And I can't deny he's really fun. Like he has really fun mechanics, becoming invincible, jumping around, getting upgrades. It's all really cool stuff, and it's all packed into this one brawler, which usually it's not like that. Most of the time they give each brawler like one cool mechanic, but Surge has like multiple. He has a ton. But yeah, that's the history of Surge. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.